Hello guys, welcome back. This is RandoGEEK. Alright, so we have an article here from Light Reading. I will put the link down below in the description for you. So it looks like we have an update regarding T-Mobile and Dish. So a little while ago, a few weeks ago, we did an article, a video regarding an article about T-Mobile and Dish, and we know that this ongoing situation here between 800 megahertz spectrum that Dish apparently wanted. T-Mobile wants to sell it off. Dish is taking too long to purchase it. And, we had an update where Dish was asking T-Mobile and the FCC to allow them about a year to purchase the spectrum. They said that would be an adequate amount of time for them to come up with the money, because we know about Dish's financial situation, and with the recent purchase, or should I say merger with EchoStar, Dish is hoping to be able to raise some capital. That, along with hopefully selling more of their Boost Infinite plans on Amazon. So they believe that the combination of those things should allow them to come up with some more capital within a year in order to purchase the 800 megahertz from T-Mobile. So now we have an update here regarding the same situation, and it looks like T-Mobile is not satisfied with Dish's request. So much so that they're asking the Washington D.C. court to reject this request by Dish Network for more time to buy T-Mobile's 800 megahertz spectrum. All right. So here's a statement here made by T-Mobile. All right. And here's what they're saying. They're saying our position is explained in the filing. Dish's motion should be denied. They continue to tie up valuable 800 megahertz spectrum that they have not yet even committed to buy. Their hardship claim is a stalling tactic that is detrimental to putting the spectrum to use for consumers. All right. T-Mobile's filing is a response to Dish's request to the court earlier this month for an additional 10 months to raise the $3.6 billion necessary to purchase T-Mobile's 800 megahertz of spectrum licenses. Dish and T-Mobile jointly filed an application seeking authority from the FCC to transfer the 800 megahertz licenses to Dish. But Dish told the court that due to macroeconomic conditions that are no fault of Dish, it is especially difficult today for Dish to responsibly secure further financing to purchase the 800 megahertz of spectrum licenses. So T-Mobile rejected that position, arguing that Dish can't ask for a delay. The possibility that Dish might find it more onerous than anticipated to obtain financing was not only foreseen by the parties, but specifically addressed and prohibited as a basis for not performing on their contract, T-Mobile told the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia. T-Mobile argued that the company's original 2019 agreement covering the possibility of sale of the 800 megahertz from T-Mobile to Dish specifically prohibits the companies from delaying the deal over financial hardships. Further, T-Mobile wrote that other companies are now interested in purchasing the spectrum. In fact, they said, several potential auction participants have already expressed interest in purchasing the 800 megahertz spectrum licenses from T-Mobile, the company wrote. Burns and McDonnell Engineering states that it has been planning for years to purchase the spectrum if Dish does not buy it. Burns and McDonnell reports that it would leverage the nationwide spectrum for targeted community benefit, enabling critical infrastructure operators like electric utilities to deploy wireless broadband networks. So they're saying the sooner the licenses are sold, the better. Thus, T-Mobile is asking the court to reject Dish's request for a delay and potentially to allow T-Mobile to auction the spectrum to other buyers besides Dish. The spectrum at issue is a nationwide 13.5 MHz chunk in the 800 MHz band previously owned by Sprint. So a complex agreement inked in 2019 among Dish, T-Mobile, and the U.S. Department of Justice paved the way for T-Mobile to acquire Sprint in a transaction that closed in 2020. So obviously we know that under these terms of 2019, Dish had that option to purchase the 800 megahertz of spectrum from T-Mobile for around $3.59 billion. The deadline for that transaction arrived earlier this year, but the companies have remained in discussions over the transaction throughout the summer. So if Dish doesn't buy the spectrum, it would owe T-Mobile $72 million. That's a fee that they're going to have to pay for walking away from the deal. Then T-Mobile would be required to auction the spectrum to another buyer. So pretty much Dish is going to lose either way. So I don't know how they're going to come out of this, guys. I really don't. I know money is the biggest issue here. That's why they're basically beating around the bush here. I believe they want it. I believe they could put it to good use. However, they simply cannot afford it. And, T-Mobile isn't wrong here in this situation. They have it available. They don't need it and they want to get rid of it. And they have buyers. And as a company, they need to do what they feel is good for them, right? They need to try to auction this off. They, at this point, don't feel Dish is actually going to ever purchase it. And Dish is just kind of being selfish by forcing them to hold it and reserve it for them when they may never purchase it. So I get where T-Mobile's coming from. I kind of get where Dish is coming from, but whether or not they'll actually be able to afford it within those 10 months, we don't really know. All right. They're just hoping that they'll be able to raise that capital within that time frame. They could come back in 10 months and simply say, "Ooh, we need another 5 months, or we need another year," and I get where T-Mobile is coming from. They have buyers now, which they believe have the capital on hand to take that spectrum from them and, put it to good use. So the FCC would surely have no reason to not allow the transaction as long as, they could see that it's going to be going to good use and that it's necessary for the company to purchase it. And we're told based on this article that they already have buyers that are going to use it. So I don't know where this is going to go. It's not really looking good for Dish as far as this transaction. I don't know. The only thing I think that could possibly stop them, that might stop Dish from losing this, is because of the agreement that, it has to have 75% by 2025. And without this 800 megahertz, it's going to be really, really difficult for them to continue that. So not only would they owe T-Mobile $72 million in fee, right, but they would also owe a ton of money to the FCC. Okay, I think it was like $3 billion to the FCC as well. So, or maybe more. But I mean, that's going to be a lot, right? And then basically that would pretty much axe Dish out of business. That would be it. That would be bye Dish. If all that happened, they would be so far into debt. How would they continue? So I don't know. That might be where they might be able to kind of angle it a little bit. They might be able to get a plea for that, but I don't know. I don't know how much longer the charade can go on, right? It's true. I mean, T-Mobile's been waiting for a while now. This has been years that this has been going on. So I don't know. Very interesting to see where this is going to go. I'd like to know what you guys think down below. I have a feeling I know what many of you are going to say. I'll wait for your comments and then I'll reply then. But as always, guys, I want to thank you so much for stopping by and watching. It's much appreciated. And we'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.